It's alive! It's alive!
Otherworldlyculture.com presents Dead On Movie Reviews.
Salutations and mutilations. You're listening to Otherworldly Culture presents Dead On Movie Reviews. Tonight we will present horror movie reviews and lively debate here on Otherworldlyculture.com and on future select Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can join our live chat at that time by clicking on the live shows link at the Otherworldlyculture.com website. I'm your host, Tim Kretschmann, coming to you from the land of lakes and landfills, Muskego, Wisconsin. Dead On Movie Reviews is now one of 3 rotating shows on Dead On Thursdays. Alternating weeks, we will see this program, or Dead on the Bases, our horror sports mashup, or our newest offering, now streaming, which is a panel discussion on a film on a free ad-supported streaming service. But now it is time for me to introduce the Faculty of Fear panel presenting tonight's lectures. We start with Tim Godak, the proprietor of Darkside Collectibles in Pittsburgh. If you're looking for that unobtainable, unique gift for the genre fan in your life, go to darksidecollectibles.net and reach out to Tim and his team, and may the toys be with you. Hello, Tim.
Hello, thank you. It's great to be here.
Next, hailing from the Motor City, Detroit, Michael Cieslak is a lifetime reader and writer of horror, mystery, and speculative fiction. He has served as an officer in the Great Lakes Association of Horror Writers and is the editor of the Eerie Tales anthologies. Michael is the editor-in-chief of Dragon's Roost Press, and his works have appeared in a number of collections, including DOA Extreme Horror, Dead Science, Vicious Verses, and Reanimated Rhymes, and the collaborative steampunk novel Army of Brass. He is a kilt enthusiast, and he's killing it over at thedragonsroost.biz. Hello, Michael.
Hello, hello.
And last but not least,
screw you.
we now have
She's
our
got a unicorn horn. Careful.
She does.
Yeah,
she does.
I will shank that shit.
We now have our panelist, Suzy McIntyre, alternately known as the Snowflake or Ice Princess. Suzy loves Poltergeist and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 and wearing tiaras at almost all times. Suzy is our host for the now streaming program, now one of our rotating programs on Dead on Thursdays, and she will say hush to you without any hesitation. Here she is, Suzy.
Hello.
Hush.
Zip it. Hush.
So
I forgot my wand, damn it.
Wow.
How many of those are we allowed per podcast?
35. Okay. So we're
and I
down
get
to
34 of them.
Yeah.
So hush.
So everybody keep your ass in your seat, sharpen your pencil, we're down to 33. And let's get unruly with the Faculty of Fear. And I think what we're going to do is start out with Mike over there in Detroit. And
Alrighty.
What is the movie you've been watching, Mike?
The movie I am watching is not Fréwaka. And I don't want to hear anybody try to say that.
Okay.
I checked it numerous times on a numerous website. It's, I believe it's actually pronounced Fréwaka. That should give you a little key that portions of this movie are not in English.
Ooh.
This is an Irish film, which features Irish actors, Irish writer and director, and a chunk of the dialogue is actually in Irish. This is a very interesting movie, having just watched a bunch of Hollywood movies, because it is so not a Hollywood movie, and it is extremely refreshing. Quick breakdown. Starts in 1973. Two people are getting married. There's some people that show up at this wedding that are wearing suits and these conical straw hats, helmets almost, that cover their faces, and they're leading a goat. And you've kind of got some little Wicker Man-y vibes going on there. And the bride disappears from the wedding, and all you see left is her Claddagh ring lying in a muddy pool of blood.
Ooh.
Then cuts to the present, where we have this woman who's singing a very sad song, surrounded by religious Catholic iconography. She covers up the mirror, she puts a bag over her head, and hangs herself. And this is like 3.5 minutes in. We've already had two. What the hell is happening here?
Huh.
It's going to be spoiler-free from now on, this review. But like I said, those portions are like right up at the very beginning. And I was already like, okay, I need to find out what's happening.
Okay.
Segue to two women that come to clean up the dead woman's apartment. We find out that Shu, right there, Siobhan is her full name, is the daughter of the woman who hanged herself. And their relationship was, let's say, not good. It's basically, she is there with her fiance, who is very pregnant, and her fiance keeps saying, what do you want to do with this? What do you want to do with that? And Shu's response is, I don't care, like, throw it all in the bin. I don't want anything from this woman. So you know that some crazy stuff has happened in their past. Shu gets a text that she has a job. So she leaves her fiance behind to finish cleaning out her mother's apartment. Kind of a dick move. And goes off into the country. She is a trainee, like a social worker, kind of a home health nurse. So she goes to the house of this old woman, who we later find out is the woman who disappeared from the wedding 50 years earlier. We're not sure if she is delusional and paranoid and off her meds, or if things are really happening here. She has all kinds of different wards up in the house, including one door that is completely red. It's got a horseshoe nailed right to the middle of it. It's got herbs along the top. She's got 7 iron nails placed down in front of it. She doesn't want anyone going into that room.
Mm.
The old lady is an absolute hoot. I did not write down the actresses or any of the actors and actresses' names because I did not want to butcher them. We find out some more stuff that happened in her past. It was not good. I'm trying to skip around here and not not spoil anything. What I will say is that this movie does an exceptional job of showing you something that's happening while something is happening just out of focus in the background. There are a number of times when that cinematographic, is that a word? It is.
Sure. Why not? Why not?
That is used to really good effect in here. There are no jump scares in this film. There are no music stings in this film to let you know when you're supposed to jump. There is a ever increasing ominous sense of dread And to give you an example of how well that worked, somewhere between the 2/3 and the 3/4 mark, I stopped taking notes altogether. I forgot about the laundry that I had that I was supposed to be folding, and I just sat there staring at the screen, kind of like drawing myself in. My shoulders were drawing in, my knees were drawing in, just completely enraptured by what was happening on there.
Wow.
After that point, the only note that I took was the word damn written all in caps. And I will not tell you what that is in reference to, but it's very close to the end. The only complaint that I had about this is there is a period at the end that drags on a little bit longer than I think it needs to, but it still has a wonderful effect with the movie. The ending is painful. The mid-credit scene almost made me cry.
Okay. Now, as you know, when I'm putting together the show, I look for pictures, and I'll say, you and Tim really gave me a run for my money this week.
That's always my goal, is to find something that's going to be exceedingly difficult for you to find pictures from.
But I got the vibe, just looking through the pictures, reading some of the material. What was the pacing like? Because to me, this looks like a slow burn.
This is definitely a slow burn. You kind of have a lead-in portion to it, and as you're getting towards the half an hour to 20 minutes left, things start happening faster and faster, and they're coming at you a little quicker, and you have a little less time to react. And I think that was, again, planned and very well executed, because you had this time to build up. By the time you get to the point where that's happening, and there's a big thing that's happening at the end. Again, I'm trying so hard not to spoil any of this, but there's no, not going to say. That's too close to giving something away. But by the time that portion happens, you've already been drawn in with this sense of like, okay, something is going to happen here. And then when that stuff starts happening, it comes at you a little quicker and a little quicker and a little quicker. Exceptionally well done. Written and directed by Aislinn Clark. I do know how to say that.
Okay. One in a row.
Yes. One and only. That's the only one I'm going to try.
Well, and you told me, I looked it up, and it was looking like you would have to grab it digital on demand. But you told me it's actually out on Shudder right now.
Yeah, I watched this one on Shudder day before yesterday. So unless they changed it like yesterday.
Okay. And I believe, Suzy, you watched this, didn't you?
I watched it. It was okay.
I'm watching it tonight.
Quick.
I mean, no, it was a slow burn. You're correct. It did build.
Suzy's just upset because she couldn't look at her phone because she had to keep reading the subtitles.
Okay, valid. But I was drinking through the whole thing too, and it was all right. Okay, I'll give you this. Out of the 4 movies that I had to watch for this fucking episode tonight, it was the best out of the 4.
Wow. All right.
This one I at least was like able to watch the whole thing and be like, all right, well that just happened, or or what the fuck just happened. But yeah, it was all right.
All right. Well, let's. Do we want to do grading yet, Mike?
I can certainly do a grading. Yeah.
All right. Tell me, what are we getting here?
I'm giving this one an A-. Like I said, towards the end there was a portion that was a little slow, and there were some other parts that the pacing could have been a little quicker. But other than that, I really enjoyed this.
All right.
Apparently more than Suzy.
That's
it was average.
Difficult. Oh my god.
It was average.
Oh my god. So filled with anger and hate, that one.
I was very polite. I just said it was average. Y'all just can't handle what men can't handle being average.
Oh my god.
It was average.
Oh my god. All right. Well, let's move now to the dark side. And Tim, what have you been watching?
The dark side's
Nothing
over
worth
here about
talking
the.
about.
He's over here choking because he almost spit out his drink because Suzy's making me laugh.
Because I what?
Because you're making me laugh.
Now, has everybody noticed, by the way, Tim's special voice meter on the back wall that he has? It's pretty cool.
My ladder. Yes, my little dark side voice meter. Yeah, I've been watching The Activated Man.
I'm sorry.
I know Suzy is not going to agree. I can tell already. This was actually one of those little fun for me. Was one of those fun little gems that I didn't expect much out of, and I actually kind of really and thoroughly enjoyed. It's written and directed by Nicholas Genie, and that is how you pronounce the last name. He also did The Falling, The Penitent Man, and Ultra Low, which are projects that I'm actually not familiar with. So this was the first time I've ever seen anything by him. But the big thing for me in this was it features Tony Todd in his last theatrical role before he had passed on. Rest in peace to Tony Todd. And it also features Kane Hodder, who actually gets to take the mask off and give a little bit of acting chops here. So that was a good time. This movie has what I would call Scanners meets Shining / John Wick vibe. You'll understand whenever I continue here. It's all based around a gentleman and his girlfriend who lose a dog. For me, it actually kind of hit home because I've definitely lost a lot of dogs being a pet owner, and they really kind of made you feel that it was more of a loss of a child versus just a pet, and the dog actually meant a lot to them. And what this loss actually does for the guy is it actually activates him, hence the title, The Activated Man, giving him his third eye opening, so he is able to actually visualize and see this dog in the afterlife. But unfortunately, in seeing things in the afterlife, sometimes there are things in the afterlife that you don't want to see. That would be the man in the fedora, who is in the pictures that you're seeing up above here. So I don't want to give away too much of what actually happens, but some things take place. The man in the fedora causes a little bit of mischief in the guy's life as he battles with whether or not this is actually happening or he's going crazy. He ends up having a neighbor who is Tony Todd, who ends up being a psychic who kind of helps him and guides him through what he's going through. That's where I kind of felt that had a little Shining vibe too, or a Dr. Sleep vibe with somebody helping someone who just got their powers figured out how to use them. So he guides him in, and more happens along the way. Kane Hodder gets to play the lead character's father. He's got more to the movie as well, but I can't say too much about him without actually spoiling some of the movie. So that's pretty much the gist of it. It's pretty much this guy's ascension into the other side, and whether or not he can handle what's going on and face his own past and deal with some evils that are lurking in the shadows as well. I found it to be quite an interesting movie. It's definitely a B movie. Some of the effects were a little bit, low key, low budget. But it had some good cinematography. There was definitely some good lighting in certain scenes. I actually thought that the man in Dora Man was an interesting creature, should you say, or villain. So yeah, I actually kind of enjoyed this one. It was one of those little diamonds in the rough that I didn't expect to be so good, but I kind of did, or was hoping at least that it was going to be good, coming from Tony Todd and Kane Hodder, so late in their careers. So that's what I'd have to say about that one.
Now, he looks a lot like one of those guys in Dark City, if you've seen that movie.
He does. He does. It also had some other notable faces in it as well. John Young, who was actually in Bone Tomahawk, Dune, and Blade Runner, was also in the movie. Andrew Keegan, who is in Kit.
10 Things I Hate About You, Full House.
Yeah, 10 Things. Right, exactly. Vladimir
what else?
Kulik,
I could go on about him.
who was in Wendigo and Vikings. So were a couple familiar faces in there as well.
I have a story about Sean Young that we'll talk about afterwards because we actually were seated next to her at a convention one time, and it was interesting to see behind the scenes with her.
If I did have one complaint about the movie, though, it was a little bit long.
Okay.
Probably longer than it really needed to be. They probably could have cut it down. And there were some moments where I felt the pacing was a little bit off, maybe even the dialogue a little off. By the time you realize, though, that it's kind of dragging a little bit, or you feel like the pacing's off, and you realize you're halfway through the movie, and it's pick up. So,
what I found amazing, again, this is one where I was trying to find photos of any kind from this thing. Here it has 3 name actors, with Sean, Tony, and Kane there. Do you think, I have the pictures from IMDb. That's all they uploaded were pictures of this dude in the fedora.
It was heavily pushed at a lot of Comic-Cons and out there in the circuit. It was released in theaters, but
that's what I was going to ask.
I saw it only grossed $28,000, so that's not really that impressive. I don't know what the budget was. I could not find that.
Well, if I may chime in,
you're going to anyway.
Suzy.
Anyone that makes me watch a movie about a dead dog should get stabbed. Because that's
now I know why you didn't like it. But see, some people...
No, wait, hush! I am not done. Let me give my opinion.
Yes, ma'am.
If you're going to make me watch a movie about a dead dog, hush. First of all, first negative, dead dog, not cold. Second of all, at least when they show the dead dog again, he could be cute. The effects of the dog were the lamest effects I've ever seen in my life.
That was probably the most disappointing part, honestly, was the dog. You're not wrong.
Actually, that was the second most disappointing. The most disappointing was my Keegan guy, seeing him aged now. It's just like, meh. But yeah. Tony Todd did all right. I won't complain about him. But the rest of the act... What? I said hush. I'm talking. Let me finish. I'll be quick. I promise. What was I saying? Tony Todd did all right. Everybody else's acting was meh. It was entirely too long. No horror movie needs to be 2 hours long. Hour and 38 to 42 minutes. That's the sweet spot. It does not need to be 2 hours. The little scary dude in the fedora, he was actually kind of creepy. I will give you that. So, again, it was meh. It was a C. It was average.
It had a decent soundtrack also. I like the music. And again, like I was going to say, even if you weren't a dog lover, it did a good job at making you appreciate the death of the dog and comparing it to a child. And the dynamic between the couple was a very real dynamic. I felt that they actually did a good job with that. There is one scene, though, where the man in the fedora kind of causes the couple to turn on themselves for a minute there. And there's almost no build up to that. It's almost kind of instantaneous. And you feel like, that kind of came out of nowhere, but maybe that.
But I did like in that scene, and this is sort of a spoiler, but I don't give a shit. When he did that, though, normally in a movie, one of them ends up being the bad person, and it's all the one person's fault. But as a couple, they were both like, what happened? Yeah, that wasn't us. That wasn't you. That wasn't me. They both realized it, and you don't see that in most movies. So I did like that scene. That was kind of cool.
The writer and director, Nicholas Genie, actually wrote this because he was dealing with the loss of his own dog that had died right before COVID, and he was stuck inside of an apartment in Santa Monica dealing with the loss of the dog, so he decided to write this story. And
that's just
very
miserable.
much taps into the afterlife and theories of afterlife and other planes and dimensions. It gets quite heavy and quite philosophical at moments and quite interesting. Maybe a little over some people's heads at times, but found it to be pretty interesting.
Nobody wants all that heavy shit in a scary movie.
Are you saying that this just went over Suzy's head? Is that what I heard?
Oh, shut up! That's what I heard too. Just hush and move along.
It's not your typical horror movie. It's definitely more of like a dark thriller with horror themes.
Elements, yeah.
Elements,
okay.
yes.
All right. Well, is it time to grade?
I will grade. Yes.
Okay, here it comes.
I'm going to give this B+, actually.
All right, a B plus from Tim, and I know Suzy had given her grade out there as a C. So there we go.
I see.
You have to make a meh lettering grade.
No,
Yeah.
no, all these different grading systems all the time.
You asked for it.
We're not going to put out a participation trophy either, just so you know.
And some more emojis.
Oh, God.
Yes.
All right. Speaking of emojis, let's go to the emoji queen. Suzy, what have you been watching?
And loving.
Unfortunately, I was watching Death of a Unicorn because it's unicorns. How could I not watch that movie? It's about a widow who takes his angsty teenage daughter, whatever, on a road trip and drags her off on a work trip with him. Why he would take her to work with him, I don't know. But he takes her over to where she has to watch him grovel to his 1%er clients. While en route, they run over a magical, mystical, badass, beautiful beast of a creature that is a unicorn. Paul Rudd and unicorns. Unicorns that can shank you when you when you mess with them. Sorry, my mouth is just awful, but that's beside the point. Anyway, the point is, this is a movie. It's a scary movie. It has Paul Rudd. It has unicorns. It has all of my favorite things, and it sucked. Okay, what could go wrong with a movie like that? Apparently, everything. Problem number one: Jenna Ortega is a college-y person. She did not come across as a teen angsty person. She's in college. She should grow up a little bit. Her character, not her. I'm sorry. I'm always complaining about her. She's probably going to shank me if she ever actually meets me in person. It's not her. It's the roles that she plays. The trope is overplayed. It's tiresome. It didn't work. Paul Rudd plays yet again another movie dad who is just out of touch, makes poor decisions, and comes across as a deadbeat. Again, the trope is overplayed, outplayed, it's tiresome, it didn't work. Every single character in this movie is cliched, overplayed, overdone, annoyingly stereotyped, and quite honestly, really just deserve to get shanked to get asked by the unicorns. Problem number 4 through 404, I don't think we have time for. If I wanted to be lectured on everything that is wrong with the youth of America today and their vaping and everything else, or how the boomers of the yesteryear and all of their pharmaceuticals have screwed up our world, I would just be miserable in my drinking and flash between Fox News and CNN. I don't want to hear about that shit. I want to see a scary movie. I don't want to pay to see my favorite fantastical, mystical, sparkling unicorns that will fuck shit up. I don't want to watch that and listen to some political tone on the background. Just shut up. Everybody deserved to die. It didn't work. Sorry. I'm kind of venting. It's more of a vent than it is a review, but oh well. I digress.
We
so
noticed.
I will continue with what worked. And this is what worked. Clown in a cornfield worked. Who cares about Death of a Unicorn?
Wow. Wow.
I'm sorry. I just can't continue with Death of a Unicorn. It makes me angry. But
I don't feel sorry for you, by the way. I don't feel sorry for you because at the beginning.
I know how you feel about the A24 movie.
Yes.
I don't care.
It had an A24 in the opening credits. You should just stop the movie and go somewhere else. That's
right.
Just well known.
All right. Well, anyway, hush. Clown in a cornfield. Ironically, it is also about a widowed dad and a teen angsty daughter on a road trip.
And ironically, has a dead unicorn in it.
I wish. Well, not a dead one. I wish it had nice sparkly unicorns. Yay.
Oh my
Anyway,
God.
he drags her off to a run downtown for work. Instead of battling anything en route, they wait till they get to the town and they go up against a deranged clown or two. Their banter back and forth, whether it's on the road trip, in the car, or once they're in town and she rebels with all the other idiot teenagers, it actually works. Their banter back and forth, where I feel like in Death of a Unicorn, it missed the mark. It was annoying. It was just shut the fuck up already. In the clown one, it worked. It was fun. It was realistic. It was relatable. It doesn't try too hard. It's to the backdrop of a really cool soundtrack. They have music from the 80s, the 90s, current stuff. I don't know. So it worked. It was fun. The kids, was it a great movie? No. Was it great, awful fun? It was. It was just fun. The kids are awful because they're teenagers and they're supposed to be awful. They make dumb decisions. They party in the woods like any good old teenager back in the day was supposed to. So it was fun. It was relatable. The best part of the movie, the girl sneaks out. Dad realizes it because he goes up into her room to try to make things right, and he's like trying to be the nice dad, and then he realizes it's just pillows under a thing, and he just looks and he's like, fucking teenagers, man. And he shakes his head and he just rolls with it the best he can, like a real dad would do. I don't know. The movie throws in topics just like the stupid unicorn one does, but it doesn't try too hard. It makes fun of it. It makes light of it. It just works. It's laughable. It doesn't throw the platforms down your throat the way the other one does. It has some good kills. It has great splatter. I can't remember if it had jump scares or not. I did not look at my phone through this, just so you know. I couldn't even, it was like an hour and I think 36 minutes or something. It does have plot holes, but it's a fun slasher flick. It doesn't take it too seriously, and I totally enjoyed my popcorn through all of it. So what else could you ask for? As my bestie explained it, this is a quote from my bestie, and I think he nailed it. It says, it's a good intro slasher for the young people of today while satisfying our old jaded asses. That's basically sums it up. The cast, you guys probably all know whoever Kevin Durand is, and some of you probably know the kid, Carson McCormick or something. I don't know. He's some Netflix shows. But honestly, I didn't recognize a single person in this movie, and I didn't need to notice any of them. I think every single person that was in this movie, they played their roles really, really well. I hated who I was supposed to hate. I felt for, the people that I was supposed to feel for. I don't know if anyone else will agree with me. It doesn't matter if they agree with me or not, because obviously you're wrong. But it was great. It's apparently based on a series of books. Young adult books that I think I'm just going to have to binge one night when either I'm bedridden for some random thing, or if I just feel like hiding in a pillow fort because people suck and the whole world just basically swallows these days. So yeah, that's all I got. Grading.
Okay,
as
grading.
much as it saddens me to say, the unicorns get a D-, the clowns get a B.
Wow.
And that is movie reviews with Suzy Q.
All right.
Suzy, do you need help?
Yeah,
Do we need to put a phone number up that you can call? Because I'm legitimately worried.
I'm not with her. I
that
can't
went
vouch for
from
what's in
being
that cup.
angry at the movies to angry at everything that is outside of the room that you are in right now, and I'm concerned.
I'm just saying, the world does suck, okay? That's why
I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
We need more movies that aren't about sad puppies dying or all this political shit. Just give me my happy unicorns, my sadistic clowns, good music. I'm not that high maintenance. I just want
Tim just bit through his tongue.
Well, I have I have to say this. With The Clown in the Cornfield, I saw the trailer for it, and I thought, oh, that's unfortunate that it's about a clown. I'm just about clowned out.
But you know what? It does. It's. I am too, but it worked. I liked it. Okay. It was good fun. And like I said, it was a good slasher. It was a good slasher for all the genres. And it was not average.
And you enjoyed it as someone who's not young adult, because I know it as a young I haven't read it, but I know that it was a young adult book, and I was like, oh, is this going to be like a kid movie or?
Yeah, and I had no idea. I had no idea that it was a young adult book until I went to the movies, and the young adult getting me my popcorn, because we all know I need to have my popcorn. He was like, "Oh yeah, I've read the books," and he's like, "So this kid, I don't know how old he was. It doesn't younger than he could be my kid, but we were yammering back and forth because I love the movie, he loved the book, so it was cool. Mm-hmm. It was fun."
Okay.
Yeah.
It kind of hits me. Didn't Scary Stories After Dark, wasn't that?
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, yeah.
Yeah, that was also a young thing. I was not a huge fan of that one, but I didn't read the books either, so I'm kind of wondering if I would have enjoyed it more had I read the books.
I don't know. I didn't read the clown book, and I enjoyed the movie, and that's
Oh,
all
that's
that matters.
good.
It made me
That's
happy. So yay!
Hooray! All right. Well, we now come to my movie.
Speaking of things that make people happy, he
Oh,
said
this is
sarcastically-
nothing but a crowd pleaser. I decided to
Love your
watch a
movie,
movie.
Tim.
What?
I love your movie, Tim.
Okay.
I hated your movie, Tim. It sucked.
Yeah.
It sucked
Okay.
as bad as all the people in these sucky ass movies.
The name of the movie is Anthropophagous. And I looked it up. It actually is a noun that means a cannibal, especially in legends or fables. And that's what you got here. There isn't a whole lot of mystery. My plot synopsis for this one is a bunch of tourists visit a Greek isle where an entire village has been slaughtered by things unknown when you start the film. Though the name of the movie, again, is Anthropophagous, which you could just pop open a book and find out what it is. Though the other names for it is The Beast, The Grim Reaper, and I think The Grim Reaper was what it was released as in the United States. And the version that I saw on AMC was called The Savage Island. I saw it on AMC Plus. Here's an interesting thing. The movie starts with two German tourists. There's no subtitles of any kind. And I thought, oh crap, did they have some goofy version of it sitting out there on AMC Plus? But if you wait 7 minutes, it switches over to English language, at least on AMC Plus. I think this was made in Italy, if my ability to look at movies looks right. It felt a lot like a giallo type of horror film. Now, the first scene with the German tourists is a guy and a gal going to the beach. The guy is too lazy to go into the water. The lady goes into the water. She encounters danger, gets killed. There's even a shot from underneath looking up at her. A total theft of the opening to Jaws. But then you get a point of view shot, and the shark apparently starts walking on the ground and comes to get the guy that's on the beach. This was one of the movies that was a video nasty in the UK right around, I think it was around 1980 or so. There was a list of, and one of you might know the actual number, but I think it was about 24 films that the UK just banned from any sort of video rentals because they were just too horrible. It was the early 1980s, and they were too grisly, too disgusting. I will tell you, if you go into this movie knowing that, and you walk into this movie, you are going to be wondering why for almost the entire length of the film. It takes forever to get to the one scene where I believe it got its cult reputation from.
There's one scene caused the problem.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. And I believe in some territories they cut that one scene, and that was that.
To be honest, a lot of the video nasties were based on the titles and the box art, which was all, marketing towards people like me who were watching them at the time and had absolutely no reason to be on there.
The box art, I picked the one that I believe was the box art that was most used.
Yes.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Actually, there were 72 was the total number
Oh, really?
on the list,
That
but
many.
only 39 were ever successfully prosecuted.
Okay.
And most of those just dropped off. So, like the core, the real video nasties, you'd be right around putting it around 24, maybe 30.
Yeah. Okay.
Stuff like your Cannibal Holocausts,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
Have them all.
Now, one thing I'll say, the musical score was possibly the most amazing thing I had ever heard. I believe they got out a Casio synthesizer that they bought at Target,
It was 1980.
and they pressed the Casio chord button for Greek music. And they hit that, and it went dum, 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 and they just played along their little thing. Actually, I looked it up.
I'm pretty sure it's the same instrumental music that they played in like 17 other movies between 1978 and 1982.
The shared track.
I'm
So,
pretty sure, yes.
I did a little research on it. It was actually recorded using two ARP 2600 synthesizers. So he actually did have two of them involved, because to me it sounded like you could probably do it all from one keyboard. But apparently he did have two. It is some of the cheapest, goofiest sounding music. It sometimes doesn't even really fit. But here's something I found that for our friends that watch Svengoolie, this past week, they had the famous William Shatner gets attacked by spiders movie, Kingdom of the Spiders. Okay? When they took Anthropophagous and took it to the United States, I think I told you earlier, it was released as the Grim Reaper. They took the music from the movie Kingdom of the Spiders and they put it in instead of the score that we heard.
Such an improvement.
I don't know. I don't know much about that score, but I'm kind of thinking virtually anything would be better. Not to get too deep into the spoilers, but our killer monster in this movie is played by Tommy Chong. And take a look at him. That's Tommy Chong. That's Cheech and Chong. That's him. They put a little bit of sunburn makeup on him, and they said, we got us a monster. And frankly, he is a little creepy. But he isn't all that intimidating. And here's the thing. The whole idea is you get there, and this entire village has been slaughtered, killed. And when you finally meet the monster, it isn't like he has like superhero abilities or is super fast or super strong or anything. He's just like a psychotic and fairly easy to run away from, kill, or I'm like, if this guy is systematically wiping out a village, why didn't three guys get together and say, well, let's just grab some shovels and beat this guy over the head for a while? I don't get it. Particularly since they had an early warning system. There is a blind girl in this movie that says, I can always smell him when he's coming nearby. I know, because I can smell. Fine, bring Blindy with you. Grab a bunch of shovels.
Low rent Daredevil.
Yeah, bring her along. And she goes, hey, something stinks funny. And you go, okay, all right. Did you clean yourself down there or not? And then you would have him. You'd have him. It'd be, bang, bang, over the head a couple times with the shovel. Done. I don't understand how he somehow wiped out an entire village. For wiping out an entire village, I'm expecting like a bunch of little monsters. I'm expecting a big nasty monster. or is somebody that's a hell of a lot more difficult to know is around than this guy was.
Dave's not here, man.
Oh, the biggest problem with the movie is the pacing. It's shot decently, like people were probably paid to film this thing. The lighting is good. I don't know that it builds the suspense too much. It is more of a let's be disgusting type of film than a let's scare people type of film. It really is kind of like a zombie slasher hybrid type of thing that you're watching. But the movie just goes on and on and on and on. And it really could be shortened to about a 40-minute, amazing stories or something on a TV show that enjoyed the eating of placenta. And
the pacing isn't glacial so much as it's tectonic.
Yeah,
the continents move faster than the pacing of this movie.
But I will say, I was surprised because I found the movie not something that I had to hide my face while watching. I watched August Underground, Mortem. And that was a movie I had to hide behind a screen and, do other things so that I could make it through the movie. It was just too foul and disgusting. This is a horror movie with some fairly disgusting, like 2, maybe 3 scenes that are very disgusting. And that's pretty well it. So it's a watchable enough film.
Meh.
But
Meh.
not
Meh.
but not good. But not good.
Meh minus.
So I'm
so
gonna
bad
go
in the 80s when you were a kid.
Yeah,
I didn't like this when I saw it in the 80s either.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm thoroughly convinced he only watched it because of the one scene that was reminiscent of his stupid shark movie.
Honestly, I watched it because I watched a different YouTube channel that was talking about the video nasties. And I was like, oh, that one looks interesting. And, there you are. I wasn't going to watch Cannibal Holocaust. I have no interest in seeing that one. So I thought, okay. And they were saying, oh, this is the worst one, brother. This is really tough. We're not going to make it through. And I'm kind of like...
So
whatever.
You're watching a YouTube video where
it was Hulk Hogan
from the 80s are reviewing movies?
It was Hulk Hogan. Was hey, brother, hey, you can't make it through this. And then another one goes, step into a Slim Jim.
That's where I was gonna go.
I can't do a Macho Man. Everybody else can do a Macho Man. I can't do a Macho Man. Oh, Gamby. That's about all I can do. Okay, so I'm going to give it a C+. I was able to watch it. It was really slow. I will say, keep in mind, I'm an older gentleman. I'm used to a slower pace.
Yeah.
So this was okay by me. I do think most horror movies right now, and this is just my thing, they rush too much. They're like, oh, I need to throw 500 more story points in here. It's like, no. How about building up characters? How about building suspense? How about doing that?
Agreed.
No, what they want to do is world build so that they can make sequels. And I'm like,
they want to tent pole it from the very beginning.
Yeah, quit it. Stop it.
Make a good movie before you try to make your universe. And that's why the Dark Universe failed.
I actually agree with you guys on something.
What?
Oh my God, write it on the calendar.
I know, write it down. I'm saying, yeah.
Wow.
I want to say a special thanks to Tim, because now every time I think of this movie, I am just going to think of Tommy Chong with oatmeal on his face.
It is. It's him. There's no question
No,
about
it's not. Do
It's
not
him.
confuse the audience. It is not him.
It's him. Okay. Cheech had just taken the job over at Nash Bridges.
Oh my goodness.
He was like, "Hey, man, Cheech did really good with that vampires in Mexico thing.
Yeah,
Maybe I should
exactly.
get into the
Let's
movie."
do this. Now the timeline's a little bit off, but you know.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's get things going over to our last sequence, which gets everybody excited. That's right. It's time to talk about the promos. There we go. Okay, let's see if anything is going to work here for us today. No. Two in a row. That's nice.
Swanky.
Well, that's because nothing goes the first time through on this darn thing. Okay, let's try this again. No. How about now? There we go. We are a scant 288 days and counting to Horror Row.
Yay! I can't wait. I can't wait.
Just moments away. I actually heard they're already starting to work on booking, so that's pretty exciting because they did a great job this past year, and we had a lot of fun participating in doing their panels. We have, 9, 10, 11 panels that we posted out on YouTube, the events that we were participating in. There would have been 12, but somebody was a little out of control. I won't name Jeff by name. All right. Then we also have this Thursday something coming.
Next.
There we go. This coming up Thursday.
Oh, this coming up Thursday.
This coming up Thursday.
Yes,
we have
today is Thursday. The
Right.
next Thursday.
the next Thursday. We take them in order.
I don't know how calendars work.
I'm retired. All I have is Saturday. I don't know what these other days are even there for. But on Thursday, we are going to have a Dead on the Bases. It is the finale for the season. And we are still taking bets.
Wait, Ash, look, he has a unicorn.
Ooh.
Sorry, I just had to make Suzy feel better.
Oh,
Okay.
my God.
Sorry.
Aw,
Oh,
thank
my
you.
God. All right. So that's coming this
Sorry to
week.
step on the Jeff thing.
Speaking of Mike,
I like it.
what's going on over there at the Dragon's Roost?
As you explained the title of your film, I realized that I did not mention that Fréwaka actually means roots, but in a deeper familial sense. And given the generational nature of the film, you will understand that more as, with the mom and the... okay, going back to what's going on. We just released The Dark Workings of Wild Women, which is a collection of short fiction by Donna J.W. Monroe. It has some amazing pieces of short horror that will really kind of make your hair stand on end. So it's available wherever you buy your books, including at thedragonsroost.biz and through our paperback partner, Splatter Theater Press. I don't have any shows coming up personally, but I will be with the Great Lakes Association of Horror Writers this weekend at the, good Lord, what's it called now? Suburban Showcase, I think is the name of it now, but at Motor City Comic Con in Novi, Michigan. So if you're in the area and are willing to brave the traffic that's going to be caused by both the show and the construction, come on out.
All right. Tim, why don't you tell us what's going on over there at the Darkside?
We're Darkside Collectibles. We're a horror sci-fi collectible store located in Plumboro. Open 6 days a week. Close on Tuesdays. Right now, we're working on our online store, getting that up and running. Very, very close. Constantly getting new products in from places like NECA and Trick or Treat Studios, but also local artists. We're working on getting some new stuff from Wood Burning by Donovan. He's someone who actually
Yay!
featured at Horror Realm, and yeah, he's an awesome individual. So we're excited about that, and so we got a lot of local artists mixed with some big box brands, and all in one place. So yeah, stop by or wait for the online store coming soon.
All right. I was wondering if you were going to mention that because I didn't know how far into the future is it, the online store.
That should be open very, very soon. It should be within the next week or so.
All right.
That's what I'd like to think. So, yes.
Fantastic. Well, everybody should go out and check that out as soon as possible. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. One more thing need to mention is this is our last Dead On Movie reviews of this season.
Boo!
Yeah. I'm almost sad. But frankly, I'm going to enjoy my summer. But we will be back.
I'm going to enjoy your summer too, big guy. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Wow.
I like the fact you looked over his shoulder like I was there. That was awesome.
What's going
You never
on?
know.
I'm used to when I hear something bizarre being said, I'm used to just looking over and seeing Jeff.
God, our good producer, Jeff.
Poor Jeff.
Poor Jeffy.
We know he
Love
doesn't
Jeff.
watch. He gets too scared when he watches this show. But anyway, we will be coming back Labor's Day. Labor's Day will be the beginning of the next season. There is the possibility a new show could be coming to town. We are also looking at if we're going to continue on at Twitch or go to a different primary home for our shows. So those of you that are in the chat room, let us know. But
We should have at least one summer special too. Just saying. We can't let people forget all about us all summer long.
we might.
We all love our
I'll be
new
honest
toys.
with you. I'll be honest with you. We've been on Twitch now for 6-7 years, and we're just not building on any momentum. And I'm getting a lot of momentum on another platform that I'm not going to mention on here because I don't want to do that on Twitch. But we're getting a lot more movement going over there just by being consistent and putting our stuff out there.
We should test that move with a summer special because everybody's going to want to see at least one.
Yeah, we should probably do the movie that started the summer blockbuster.
Oh, which one was that? Tell
Cannibal
us, please.
Killer Clowns on Dope.
You know what movie I'm talking about, Tim.
Yeah, we're not going to do that because I
Susie's
will.
going to be mad.
Susie's head would explode.
And I would spend literally
Let's
to
do
do just so you guys know, a normal show, I put about 6 hours of time into every show. That Tremors show, the retrospective we did, I put about 10. If it would be Jaws, I would probably be like 3 weeks working on that thing.
I'm just saying, we can't go all summer without saying hello to everybody. They're
Susie's
gonna miss us.
miss us. Aw.
I am.
Well, I am going to tell you that new show that we might be doing on Mondays. There might be some test shows that go out
Yay!
over the summer, but somebody's got to figure out what the format of this malformed thing is.
Okay, if I must.
Yeah, well, you should probably involve your other co-host as well.
Well, I'll just tell him to show up and he will follow in line. I mean,
Yeah,
let's be real.
just let Susie make the decisions.
Thank you.
Oh my God! When he sees
That,
this,
don't take that as a compliment. That was more of a. I meant that as more of a comment on your co-host.
It's just a matter of pain avoidance. Yeah. But I think that show, once we figure out what it is, I think it's going to be pretty fun. We're going to continue with our other 3 shows. Horror Realm Radio will not be returning next season, which means it'll be back
Supposedly.
on a season, the season following again. Because I think it's been killed now 4 times.
Return
any
of the
good
Living
slasher
Dead
guy.
podcast.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
it just keeps coming back.
It's like my underwear. I think I'm going to put it in the laundry, but I just leave it on. All right.
Who even wears underwear?
Hey, everybody, remember to rate us.
Turn.
Everybody, remember to rate us, like us, follow us on any of the podcast applications or on Twitch and YouTube. It helps us find new viewers, so we keep doing our programming here on Otherworldly Culture. If you want to reach out to any of us, send an email to tim@otherworldlyculture.com and I'll get it to the right one. I think I have some of you guys set up and some of you not set up as emails. I got to figure that out over the break as well. We wish you all a happy and safe summer. Any last items that any of you want to say before I hit the big close button?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
All right. So when you aim at horror, make sure you are dead on. We'll see you next time. Otherworldlyculture.com.